Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about 4 legal defenses to possessing marijuana in Wyoming. This is Christina Williams with Just Criminal Law.
And David Mann, legal storytelling specialist. All right, Christina, so before we started this video here, we talked a little bit about what these are, and I'm curious as to, hearing more about them. So someone gets arrested for possession of marijuana. They don't have to just say, okay, well, I'm guilty, right? So there are ways to defend against that. And we talked about these 4. So the first one was that the marijuana is not yours. So tell us about that one.
Right, so say that you are in a house where you share roommates, adult roommates, and for some reason law enforcement ends up in your home and finds marijuana in your home. And say you're the only one there, and they charge you with possession of marijuana. Now, there is a valid defense, and that is that marijuana in your home was in fact someone else's, specifically your roommates. And they're gonna have a hard time getting around that if you don't talk to them and explain maybe too much. So again, it's always important to exercise that right to remain silent, and then they're going to have a really hard time proving it was yours.
And you found that defense does work out for defendants often?
Absolutely. They're going to have to prove that you had access to or control over the marijuana, and if it's your roommates and it's not yours, then you're certainly not the person that has access or control of the controlled substance.
That's good to know, because it might seem like you did, but it's easy to prove, or it's possible to prove that you didn't. So another one would be unlawful search and seizure.
Yes, and this is probably the most common one that we're able to get charges reduced or dismissed under, and that is everybody has that Fourth Amendment right, and law enforcement has to play by the rules. And so if they obtain marijuana that is yours, but they've violated your Fourth Amendment right to privacy, that is, they've illegally searched your home, your car, your person, that is, they patted you down and they weren't supposed to, then we can potentially get that evidence suppressed, and then the charge goes away for the person who is in possession of the marijuana.
That is interesting. That's good. And so the next one would be to challenge the results of a drug lab analysis.
Yes, and that's going to require an expert. So if the person has the means to hire an expert, we might need to go to, say, a motion hearing, or actually go to a jury trial and prove that the state is not able to determine what that substance is. And maybe it's a green leafy plant substance, but the science in proving that it is in fact marijuana and not some other substance that has the same molecular makeup is a valid defense, and it can work if you want to take it to trial and cause the jury to have doubt about what the substance really is.
That's right. It can't be marijuana possession if it's actually not marijuana. The next one is unwitting possession, or not knowing that you have possession of it.
So, sometimes you'll be driving somebody else's car, perhaps. They've let you borrow their car for some reason, and you end up getting pulled over, and for some reason, maybe they run a drug dog around the car, or you give them consent to search, and they find marijuana that you had no idea was there, and it's, obviously not your car. Then there's a real issue proving that, you intentionally and knowingly were possessing that marijuana.
Okay, so in a way, it's really getting down to things like, if it's a charge of marijuana possession, we have to know that you possessed it knowingly, then that it's actually marijuana. So it gets very specific, and again, sounds very difficult for a person on their own to defend themselves in this way.
Right, yeah, and probably the most popular one that we're able to help people with is that violation of your constitutional rights. So those are all great ways to defend.
All right, so if someone finds themselves in this corner, they need to get in touch with you, and how do they do that?
Sure, we'll include a link in the description where they can call, text, or chat with a member of my team anytime, day or night. Here at Just Criminal Law, we know you only get one shot at justice, so make yours count.